Hey everybody, Jeff here, EastTexasADV. Hey, today's product showcase is going to be the Camppal MT-068 4 seasons 2-person tent. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get it set up. I'm gonna go over my first impressions as far as what I like, what I don't like, and see if this is a good tent for you and whether or not it'll fit your needs. Anyway, let's get to setting it up. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go over what comes in the kit. You can get a ground cover for an additional fee. I believe it is not included with the tent. You do have to buy this separately. So we are not going to use this for the product review. You guys all know what a ground cover is. So let's dive into the tent. All right, we're gonna fishing this stuff out. It does look a little bit big. The advertised weight on it is supposed to be right at about, I believe, 6 pounds. So for a 4-season tent, that's not too bad. Anyway, let's go over what comes in the tent. We have the rain fly. We have the bag that just got blown off by the wind. We have the tent body. We have the poles, which are aluminum. And what is nice is it comes with aluminum tent stakes. So we're gonna go ahead and get it set up. I promise this time. Okay, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to lay out your tent body and stake it down. And there's a reason for that. Second, you will take your tent poles, assemble them, lay them over the top of the tent, fasten the ends, and then when you're done fastening the ends to the tent, then you'll go ahead and use the clips and clip the tent body to the tent poles. What I like about this tent is that the poles don't thread through anything. So that is definitely a bonus. So here we go. All right, so here's your tent without the rain fly. Now I want to go over a couple things real quick that we will talk about. What I did was I put a colored marker on the short end of the poles and on the string itself. I did this not only on the poles and the tent body, but the rain fly as well, because the rain fly only goes on one way as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, let's go ahead and jump on the inside. We're just gonna do the pros and cons so far. All right, so if you look, oof, I got to get down, and that's not very easy. You do have 2 doors, 2 zipper doors, 1 on each side. They say it's a 2-person tent. I would say this is probably at best a 1.5-person tent. Could you get 2 people in here? Yeah, but it's going to be real tight. You do have plenty of headroom, so that is a plus. So, plus headroom. A neutral, not as much room as I would like. The other thing I noticed was the seam. The seam goes right through the head of the tent. So it is sealed, so that is a good thing, but will that leak? I don't know. All this, oh, there's one on this side too. So they have actually 2 seams in the tent. Let's see here, so let's go ahead and crawl. I don't want to crawl in here. So, see how you got a lot of room? All right, so if you were to minimal this tent, that means just your tent poles, your stakes, your 4 stakes, and your tent base. I believe you're only looking at 3 pounds. Add the ground cover, you're looking at, I believe, 4 pounds. So that's not too bad. You add the rain cover in there. With the ground cover, you're looking at 7 pounds. 7 pounds for your maximum weight as far as everything you need. That's your tent, your poles, your stakes, the bag, the rain fly, everything. So let's go ahead and get the rain fly on. Like I said, kind of a neutral on the poles, because if you don't get them set right, the tent won't go up, as well as this is not a freestanding tent. That is a negative in my opinion. You have to stake. You have to stake the tent body down before you attach the poles to this tent. This is what happens if you set this tent up without staking the corners of the tent body first. Just, it rolls up. So make sure you stake the 4 corners of the tent body before you, so let's go ahead and we're gonna get the rain fly on here and we'll go over some key points of that. Yeah, remember I had said green marker? So I know it goes on this way. All right, so as you can tell, another con, the zipper gets hung up real easily on the inner flap. So as you noticed, both sides it got hung up. Another thing to point out, don't go to the pull strings, those are for your zippers. Come on now. So the black loops, the nylon loops, this is cool if you have another set of poles like hiking poles. You can put them right here and make an awning. We don't have that. We are more than likely going to be going minimalist on this tent when we use it. So I would just roll it up when I'm going in and out. It does have these rain fly right here on the side, so that's pretty good for keeping rain from coming in from the sides. Roll it up. Get it out of your way. There's a loop here. There's 2 of these, one here. And I feel it. There it is. Little crossbar there. Same thing here. Just under the seam. Oops, I missed it. tucks it out of your way really nice. You can use the drawstrings to open it up more. We are not going to go ahead and do those. I generally don't use them when I'm out in the field, just because when you get up at night, hey, let me get down here. Oh, I generally don't use the guidelines because you get up in the middle of the night, because you have to get up in the middle of the night. 9 out of 10 times, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kick it, you're gonna trip over it, you're gonna bring your tent down. It's just gonna be in the way. This is what I was talking about. You don't really have a lot of room in here. You've got a room for your pad and maybe something else. I like a little bit more room personally, but you have a lot of height in the ceiling. I think at the high point, oh, you got a little hook there for a light. All the corners look like they're reinforced, so that's a good thing. Okay, we'll give it a bonus for that. All right, so here's what I was talking about. Just because it's small, see, we're hanging up on this one too. I think it's because of how tight the tent goes up. That would absolutely irritate the living hell out of me if I'm trying to get, oh, that one didn't go too bad. Okay, that was okay. And this has the same roller function, so you could actually leave this door open and try and do this one-handed. So you got the tab here, and you've got a loop on this side. Hey, look at that, I did it one-handed, and then you have one here as well. It's actually kind of breezy in here. It's not bad at all. But you could roll that up. So that would be actually out of your way. You could put your camp gear, your helmet, your boots and stuff in here. So you have room on this side. So you've got about a foot, maybe 14 inches on this side. And then if you brought this down, you'd have the same amount on this side. So what are my general thoughts on this? Well, let's climb out of here and we'll go over them real quick. All right, so let's go over the pros and the cons real quick. So we'll go over the pros pretty quick. Pretty easy setup once you figure it out. Like I said, mark either the short end or the long end. I used green zip ties on each of one end. So like there's a green zip tie on the fly, the rain fly, there's a green zip tie on the tent poles, and there's a green zip tie on the tent body, all that match, so that way you're not fumbling around, especially in the dark. They don't get in the way. Make sure if you use a zip tie that you cut them off close enough and you don't put a jagged edge on it and possibly rip or tear your tent. So, all right, so we'll go with a neutral on setup. It is easy once you get it figured out, once you've done it. Water resistance, I believe it's a 4,000 or so, so it's supposed to be able to handle moderate to heavy prolonged rain. Will it? I don't know. One of the things, I'm not going to call it a con, but a concern are the sealed seams that run parallel or on the tent floor that are kind of a foot from each end. That kind of has a concern. Is it a deal breaker? Definitely not. Outside storage, definitely a plus. I believe this tent, you could also set the rain fly up first if it was raining, and then set your tent body up underneath. I have seen that done on tents similar to this. I don't know. Maybe in a future video we'll try that out and see if it is actually feasible. But it'd definitely be worth a try before it starts raining. So you know what, maybe we'll do another video on that and see if it'll work out. All right, so bonus, plus aluminum one-piece poles. They break down to about that long. So if you wanted to put those in another area of your luggage on your bike and stuff the tent in a stuff sack, you could get that thing pretty down pretty low. That's probably about a 7-liter bag. I'll bet you could compress that down into probably about 3 liters and help spread the weight out. Let's see here. Another pro, don't have to run the guidelines. That's a bonus in my opinion. Let's see here. Now I guess price is gonna be about middle of the road. Now if you do go to, let's see here, at checkout, follow the link in the description below, save 10%, put in fans of EastTexasADV. That was the product code for your discount, was fans of EastTexasADV. So it's not your typical discount code, so make sure that in the notes, wherever you can put it, put that in there, and that will save you the cons. Okay, now we're gonna go to the cons. The tent does not come with a footprint. The footprint is extra. That is why I did not use the footprint, but I do have it, and they are custom made. It fits really nice. We were getting low on time. The sun was getting down, so I did not use that. I'm just going with what you get with the tent. So if you use ground covers, it's great. They do have them for each and every tent that they sell. Let's see here. Okay, another con. The zipper. The zipper hung up on this one on both sides twice, the other side only once. So that could be frustrating, especially if you're trying to get out of your tent when you got to make an emergency pit stop in the middle of the night. Something that you could probably figure out how to deal with if you had to. And even though it's a con, we'll go ahead and we'll chalk it up to the tent not being broke in, zipper still being kind of stiff. Another con would be it's not really a 2-man tent. Technically, yes, if you include the outside area under the rain fly. Keep that in mind. Let's see here, what else? Oh, we forgot another cool thing. You got an optional porch. If you're hiking or backpacking, you put your hiking sticks, whatever they're called. I don't hike, I don't backpack. So you set them in the ground here, you've got a rain fly. You can do that on both sides. Another plus is you've got 2 doors. You get plenty of ventilation, even with the rain fly on. So that's another plus. Packing, pretty simple. You could take your time, fold it up, and put it away. Or usually what I do is, if I'm just gonna be breaking camp day every other night, every night, I'll just stuff it in a stuff sack. When I get home, I'll lay it out, let it air out, and then I'll put it away the correct way. Price is pretty darn good. Like I said, you don't have to use the guidelines. Let's see. Pros definitely outweigh the cons. And this is just my opinion. This is just what I see. Once I sleep in it a couple of times, I will go ahead and do another midterm review on it, let you guys know how it's going, how I like it, and see if the concerns that I have work themselves out over time. Like I said, go ahead and follow the link below to Camppal's store, and if you see something you like, hey, go ahead and pick it up. This might not be for you. They've got several other tents. They've got actually quite a few different tents. They've got ultralight tents, they've got 4-season tents, you name it, they've got it. And they have custom ground covers for all of them. So check them out, and don't forget to follow that link in the description below. Enter fans of East Texas ADV, save you a little bit of cash. While I got you here, do me a favor, man. Mash that subscribe button, hit that bell for future notifications. Helps the channel out a lot. We've got a lot of cool stuff in the pipelines. Hit that bell so you know it's coming. When it comes, you'll be notified. Hit me that thumbs up. And that's about all for today. Hopefully you like the Camppal MT-068 4 Seasons tent. Check it out and decide for yourself whether this is right for you or not. Anyways, remember, life's an adventure. Live it like one. Thanks for watching till the end.